I understand the iPhone 17 reveal is more than a year ahead of time, but if you receive the image clear enough, you'll be able to make an educated choice, such as, should I purchase the iPhone 16 or wait for the iPhone 17? Should I instead move to Android since the iPhone 17 line does not meet my needs? With the iPhone 17, we may receive a whole galaxy of cutting-edge technology, fascinating features, and an exceptional Apple experience. Don't tell me you aren't excited by the prospect of employing a mind-blowing 2nm CPU in the iPhone 17. For comparison, the top Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 chip, found in incredibly competent phones like the Galaxy S24 Ultra and the Xiaomi 14 Ultra, is 4nm. The smaller the nanometer value, the better the overall experience. If you're looking for a stunning, sleek phone, you won't want to miss out on the iPhone 17 series. The iPhone Slim might be as thin as approximately 5mm, which is rather impressive. Overall, the iPhone 17 line should include tiny bezels, bright and large screens, and intriguing haptics that would make a street cat purr. Apple's 2025 phones should have decent cameras, particularly for video, with occasional hardware and software updates and the requisite periscope cameras at least for the Pro versions. Of course, iOS 19 is limited to the iPhone 17 series. This implies big-time AA. This time, it's genuine. That's because the previously mentioned Apple Intelligence set of capabilities will be available in 2024 with iOS 18 and the iPhone 16 line, but they won't be fully operational until 2025. I anticipate things to be smoothed out and refined even more with iOS 19 and the 17 lineup. So, how large will the screen of the iPhone 17 be? What will be the price? What type of software features and camera settings can we anticipate on the iPhone 17? Will the vanilla model have a large battery? How about the Pro Max variant? Is the iPhone 17 Slim a glorified toy or a powerhouse? Let's find out. For the time being, the current champion, the iPhone 16, although exciting, may not be everyone's weapon of choice. So if the iPhone 16 doesn't quite cut it for you and your requirements, and there are plenty of such reasons, we'll keep it updated with legitimate leaks, rumors, and insider knowledge that will be released, first gradually, then abruptly, in the coming months. Given that it is just 2024, forecasting what will happen a year from now is difficult. Yet, this should not prevent us from thinking rationally. This is the sort of forecast that even Nostradamus couldn't make with a 100% success record, not because he's bad at predictions, but because it is hard to lock down a certain date for the release of the iPhone 17 in the context of the ever-changing tech sector. That being stated, I predict the iPhone 17 line will be released in the first part of September 2025. This applies to all iPhone 17 models. I don't believe Apple will purposely delay any of their superstars. It just cannot afford to do so. As is customary, the ceremonial reveal will be followed by a brief period of pre-ordering mania. After around 10 days, give or take, the iPhone 17 gadgets will reach the market. I understand that 2025 seems to be far in the future. However, time flies, and you'll get your hands on the iPhone 17 before you can say, Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. The iPhone pricing is such a sensitive issue. It is equally significant as the phone's specifications. So far, price rises are projected to smash the iPhone 17 Pro, but this pales in contrast to the rumored cost of the iPhone 17 Slim, Ultra, and Air. As seen in the chart above, which covers the most current leaks, the iPhone 17 will start at $799. This doesn't seem too awful, but my instinct tells me there might be a price increase. The iPhone Pro might be priced at $1,099 or more, a significant increase over the $999 price tag of the 16 Pro and 15 Pro. The iPhone 17 Pro Max will most likely remain its current starting price of $1,199. As expected, the iPhone Slim will be the most costly model of the four, priced at $1,299. This is utterly absurd if all it comes down to is the fact that it is thinner than the standard iPhone 17. As we've already said, the reported iPhone 17 Slim specifications are nothing spectacular. Apple is relying on the design to win over customers. When it comes to mobile photography, I can't dispute that iPhones produce wonderful images. Most importantly, I like the constancy of iPhone-made photos. That is why the iPhone 17 camera configuration is one of the phone's most crucial specifications. Looking forward to 2025, all 4 iPhone 17 models are predicted to include an updated front-facing camera with a 24 megapixels image sensor and 6 plastic lens elements, up from the existing 12 megapixels camera with 5 elements present on the iPhone 15 series. This is fantastic news, since an improved selfie camera will make the iPhone 17 series even more enticing to consumers who like photographing themselves. The iPhone 16 and 16 Plus retain the cameras from the iPhone 15 and 15 Plus, a 48 megapixels main snapper, a 12 megapixels ultra-wide unit, and a 12 megapixels selfie camera on the front. But the ultra-wide camera has been upgraded with a faster f/2.2 aperture and macro autofocus capabilities. That is why I would not be shocked if the same configuration makes it to the iPhone 17. Except for the selfie camera, we've already discussed how the current rumor suggests a 24 megapixel sensor. However, the fact that I will not be startled does not imply that the iPhone 17's cameras will remain unchanged. 12 megapixels for ultra-wide in 2025 is a clear breach of any moral rules in the business, assuming any exist. So I'm waiting for the rumors to circulate. Also, I won't dismiss a new sensor for the primary camera. A larger one, that is. It's nice to take 2x zoom shots by just cropping the camera sensor, so a larger sensor will be a significant advantage for the vanilla iPhone 17. That's what the iPhone 16 or 16 Plus has. A 2x option that uses sensor cropping to provide lossless magnification. When photographing distant objects, the digital zoom may be extended up to 10x. Keep in mind that the aforementioned data may vary over time. For example, there may not be a 2 terabytes model in the iPhone 17 lineup. The iPhone 16 range does not have it. In addition, Apple may discontinue the 128 gigabytes variant in favor of the vanilla iPhone 17. I anticipate that the iPhone 17 Slim will not come with 128 gigs of storage. That's because 128 gigs isn't elegant enough for a phone with a possible price of $1,299. There's another reason why the 128 gigs beginning storage point will be phased out in 2025. It's due to AI high power and storage requirements. Apple may establish 8 gigs of RAM and 256 gigs of storage as the new standard for all iPhone models, beginning with the iPhone 16 series. This growth in storage is due to the anticipated on-device AI capabilities, which need significant data, increasing storage demands. Similarly, AI processing is increasing the need for additional RAM, resulting in this predicted update. To refresh your recollections, the iPhone 15 and iPhone 15 Plus have 6 gigs of RAM and 128 gigs of storage in their basic variants. The iPhone 17 Slim is perhaps the most intriguing design in the iPhone 17 lineup. This bad boy will not amaze with its sheer performance or technical specifications. As previously said, rather it will be all about how it looks. A looker, if you will, the outside triumphs over the inside. As the name implies, this iPhone should be slender, but not sneaky. How thin? That, as the poet puts it, is the question. In my opinion, if Apple can make the iPad Pro M4 2024 5.1mm thin, it will be wonderful. It should also work with the iPhone 17 Slim, Ultra, and Air. Why? Well, since we already have foldables that are 5mm or thinner. For example, the recently introduced Pixel 9 Pro Fold measures 5.1mm when unfold. Not to mention the Honor Magic V3, a true wonder of a foldable that claims to be the thinnest of them all, measuring just 4.35mm when unfold. So, in the fall of 2025, if I feel the sudden want to have an exceptionally thin phone and see that Apple publishes the iPhone 17 Slim, which is more than 5mm thick, I just won't buy. Not at the reported $1,299 price point. Instead, I'll simply acquire one of the aforementioned foldables, on sale, lol. This way, I'll have a genuinely tiny phone with a large display. When it comes to the remainder of the iPhone 17 lineup, I've learned not to anticipate significant changes. Perhaps even small ones. I hope we eventually get to see a new iPhone in 2025, even if it is awful. At this point, I don't care if it's not the same iPhone we've been receiving for years. Sorry, but a new button here and there, yes, I'm referring to the otherwise quite useful action button, is not what I mean by a design change. To be honest, the camera control button added to the iPhone 16 series is a great addition. But that's just me and my mobile photography passion speaking. If you want the iPhone because it is slim and beautiful, adding another button will not help you maintain it that way. Unless you're like the amazing steampunk look. The camera control button, which debuted on the iPhone 16 series, will do more than simply click. As rumors suggested, it also has zoom and focus settings. Sources were correct in stating that this button is not just mechanical, but also touch sensitive. Users may change the zoom level by swiping, and a half press will focus the photo. A mild push focuses and activates many specific camera-like functions, while a strong press captures the picture or begins recording. Users may also be able to zoom in or out by swiping left or right on the button. Unlike many smartphones, which utilize volume keys to zoom, Apple's solution may enable users to keep their finger on the capture button, thus increasing ease. My prediction is that the capture button will make its way onto the 17 series. Also, I believe the super thin bezels introduced on the iPhone 16 series will be featured on the 17. This is owing to the so-called BRS technology, which reduces display bezels. The iPhone 16 Pro Max has ultra-thin 1.15mm bezels. That's astonishing. Reducing the size of the top and side bezels is rather simple, but the bottom bezel has undoubtedly had some Apple engineers scratching their heads for longer than is commonly believed. This is because the bottom bezel presents a hurdle owing to heat-generating concerns. The new BRS technology seems to solve this by making the bottom bezel as small as possible. It does this by rolling the copper wires from the bottom up. This is how I imagine the iPhone 17 range will appear in terms of battery capacity. The statistics above are based on rumors about the iPhone 16. According to recent speculations, the vanilla iPhone 16 will have a 3,561 mAh battery, which is a 6% increase over the 3,349 mAh of the iPhone 15. The Cupertino behemoth has yet to provide specific data. The 16 Pro Max is supposed to have a higher capacity, 4,676 mAh versus 4,422 mAh for the 15 Pro Max, but our sights are set on the smaller, non-Max Pro model. In August, there was a bombshell revelation saying that the iPhone 16 Pro will have a 3,577 mAh battery. That is a 9% increase over the 15 Pro's 3,274 mAh battery. To be honest, I don't anticipate Apple to dramatically increase the milliamps numbers on the iPhone 17 series. We may anticipate a little bump here and there, but nothing to write home about. The most essential question is how the iPhone 17 slim battery will perform. Will its super thin body accommodate a huge battery? Probably not, although the 6.6-inch display may compensate for the phone's lower total depth. At the end of the day, huge battery numbers are fantastic, but if the phone's software and hardware are not properly tuned, ugly power drains may occur. It will be fascinating to see what battery technology Apple implements for their phones in 2025. I believe it is reasonable to assume that the iPhone 17 series will benefit from the stacked battery technology introduced with the iPhone 15 line. This is precisely how iPhone 15 customers might, in principle, enjoy much longer battery life than iPhone 14 users. 2025 is the year that Apple will finally catch up in terms of AI with the rest of the companies. The iPhone will be so AI-powered that it will be able to do AI tricks and gimmicks that other brands have been doing for years. Jokes aside, even Apple supporters and insiders have been saying for about a year that Apple is way behind the competitors in the AI race. Although iOS 19 is still a long way off, we may expect similar but somewhat different features. Yes? No? iOS 18 will provide new features including as freeform app icon placement, advanced app icon customization, customizable lock screen shortcuts, and a revamped